suspect 6043 Barton Avenue.
630-1001. 237 or detail 43.
Still shows code 6 there. Can you try him as well?
Southwestern Name Prowler complaint 3661 Norton Avenue, incident ID 373.
1411, are you clear? 1411, roger.
1230, monitor his cell phone.
What? What? Monitor his cell phone? Is that what they teach Charles Sean Dinsey, lead officer at Paying Division at Cal State University of Northridge? Probably the only police officer with a college education. That's what they teach him? I mean, what's next? Putting like cyanide in your food? But you know, if like mass groups are attacking him, trying to make him look like a violent, paranoid schizo, trying to frame him, set him up, and he goes in to file police reports to show what's being done to his life, God forbid they actually take a police report and do something with it because, you know, he's just a chronic police report abuser.
If you're a possible chronic 911 abuser, code 2 incident 210-8518.
Is that what our tax dollars are paying LAPD or the police to protect and serve and keep us safe?
Okay, so this document here says, how do we address a person with mental illness when forcing, F-O-R-C-I-N-G, someone into a mental institution? Written by Charles Sean Dinsey of Topanga Division here. Oh, yes. Okay, what does that mean, force? Kidnap? Like force? Like kidnap, rip someone away from their job and their family?
LAPD police and government illegal operations. Okay, do you think you're safe? Do you think you're safe? Okay, you're a law-abiding citizen. You're a taxpayer. You're a taxpayer. You're a law-abiding citizen. You have family, you have kids, you have your job, you have social life, you have friends, same thing. Are you safe? Because we live in the United States, and this could never happen to you, right? Because you are a good law-abiding citizen that doesn't get into trouble and has the same life as, let's say, 60-70% of the middle to upper class, and you're not out robbing stores, looting or anything. You went to college. Could it happen to you? Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing that people don't really understand, and they sort of laugh.
Now I think more people are apt to just pick up the phone and go, I want to make a phone call.
But what would call for, like, I guess what's the magnitude of the call? Like, oh, my son's addicted to drugs, or...
Yeah, I mean, again, there's
like, because I know for a fact that security companies and public schools are told to monitor behavior, and if anything's out of the norm... Correct. And that I'm not talking crimes here. I'm talking like, oh, you know, that person's too shy, or that person has ADHD, or that...
Well, you know, I used to work in the school sector before.
Okay.
I think it's kind of, they're the first line. I think that a dip or a sudden change in the person's personality,
okay,
like a quick change, I think should be monitored. I'm not saying necessarily 5150. I'm just saying monitored because we don't know together. The parents have no idea what's right in the house.
Okay.
Like if you're not going in there and monitoring your kids, it starts there. Like you need to know.
Well, sure, yeah, it's always going to start from the parents.
Right, and then the teachers are the next line of defense because they see kids almost as much as the parents, or even more sometimes because the parents are working. So I think that monitoring there, now documentation I don't think is bad. I just think that now, the issue, here's where the issue happens. The issue happens is these teachers now are made to feel that, oh my gosh, you didn't report that.
Okay, so the peer pressure,
you didn't report that, you're out of your mind.
So now they're reporting everything.
This little, everything.
Yeah,
so I know. And so no, trust me. And so DCFS, for example, Department of Child and Family Services, anybody at any time can get called on, and you have a file. at any time. I mean, do I think that's fair?
What is that? What happens with that file? Where does it go?
They just monitor it because documentation, because it's probably nothing. But if it says something.
So, but then that person does the slightest hiccup, and it's sort of building
now it's before it was I don't know. There's not enough to substantiate it. We have documentation. Now you did it. Now it's again, and they're gonna say.
Yeah. See, it's like NSA. Okay, they're destroying lives based on obsession. Okay, I can find the best person, and if I sit there and watch and obsess on them all day, like this guy might pay his taxes, be the friendliest, donate, gets along with everyone great, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching him, I'm waiting for you to slip up, I'm waiting, you know what, you didn't pay 1 penny on your taxes, you're a bad guy, and I'm accumulating and I'm building. It's called obsession, right? What would you say the percentage of false?
I don't know the percentage.
You're not just a general approximate. No, but you would say like, okay, so if you had 10 calls a day.
If I had 10 calls a day of 5150, I'd say 7 or 8 of them
are bunk type of.
We can't substantiate it.
Like Karen Kyle calls and.
Like somebody calls and they said, and we get over there and find out now.
Yeah, because I've watched all my neighbors. They call for every little thing. And so yourself or others.
Swinging a pickaxe in the middle of the street is not necessarily a crime.
Technically, you might be right.
Swinging it at somebody.
Yeah, you're right there.
Should it be noted? And should it be monitored? Yeah.
That would probably be something I would know. See, there's a difference. See, I think the word monitor seems to be dangerous to me. Note versus monitor. Noted, yes.
It's hard. Well, again,
monitor. What is the definition of monitor? Like, see the monitor thing, and I don't know. Like, how long do you monitor for?
Well, again, see, I'm not a professional, so me using the 5150, it's technically an arrest because you're not free to leave. It's actually more of a detention.
We're
transporting them over to a mental health professional that's trained to better trained to service and help an individual. Now, once they determine that, I see in a sense that's kind of monitoring because they're kind of listening to their dialogue, they're talking to them, they're hearing.
Well, sure, they're analyzing. They're picking. That's why I don't like those people. But they're picking apart every little thing.
I've heard of more people now getting released after 23 hours or less.
Okay.
There was another guy that called on himself just recently. He called himself.
Yeah, I guess people.
No, he was talking to the clinic. Said something like, "I did get my medication and I'm feeling suicidal."
Okay. Well, that's
somehow he even talked about a gun.
But why would he go? That's not a 5150. That's he checks himself in or.
Well, okay, it depends on what they hear. Now you get over there and then the guy goes, "Yeah, I did say that, but I'm not feeling suicidal right this second."
Okay.
Well, you said it though.
Yeah. There was whatever state.
Restraining orders.
No, well, they're not doing anything direct. So Kevin came out of his house and we're watching what he does and then we're calling the cops. Okay, and now Kevin's driving to a coffee shop down at Porter Ranch and someone might follow me from Warner Center Met and come there and sort of indirectly, cryptically say something to try to get me to react, and then provokings will start at my house and I might get threats like, which I have on video, like. You better accept what's going on or it's going to get a lot worse for you, and things like this. And it's like this wannabe secret Illuminati group. They're obviously not really Illuminati or anything, but they're fucking with you, right?
Right.
Okay, but yet at the same time, all the information is being collected and documented, and it's going out to mass groups, and it's literally going to police organizations. And then by the time you figure out what's going on, you don't know what to say until you figure it out, and then but look, you've been lied to, and it's like, well, don't talk. Okay, but I'm going to call neighborhood watch groups that aren't by the definition of neighborhood watch groups. Does that make sense? Because for me, I could fly out right now to Vegas or Wisconsin, and the first people I see will say, there's Kevin Perlman, and let's screw with him, and he's imagining it, and it'll just jump from place to place to place, and then I get video and proof of it, and people get mad at me. But it all starts from the crazy labels. Do you understand? Or, here, this is like, okay, so I'm sitting in an office, let's say, and we're coming secular here to force. You didn't have a problem, but we're creating problems to force you away from the human populace. It doesn't even matter what venue you're in. I mean, I had in the
4 people or 5 people in my life take me to strip clubs and sort of get me associating with the stripper porn star group or whatever. And everyone talks the talk here, but ironically, it's funny because out of all I'm using the sleaze world as an example, and the reason I'm using the sleaze world as an example is because it's not really happening to them. Okay, so you take Kevin Perlman here, and I grew up in Hidden Hills, some of the extremely well-off areas, Frankie Avalon and Nikki Six Two Doors Down, and Hollywood people and upper class people, and the size of the houses there were extremely large, and a lot of money there, whether it's real estate money or other things. Okay, and I come out of college, and boom, LAPD sending a guy named Roddy Morales. Actually, 4. There were 4. There were 1 in each state. Roddy Morales, a Russian exchange student. Val Morozo, a Russian exchange student at the University of Colorado. Eric Christensen from Alaska, exchange student in Ashland, Oregon. And Roddy Morales working at LAPD. My gym manager, it was either Gold's or World's Gym by my house. Mike Huntley wanted me to sign up to get Mike to weasel him into my life, or Mike get Roddy Morales with LAPD weasel him into my life. So the question here is, and why? What is the reasoning? Well, okay, the first thing is we live in the U.S. and it can never happen to you, right? Because you're not out causing problems or, like I said, you have social life, you have friends, you're whatever. It can't happen to you. Well, yes, it can. And as I've learned the hard way here, it can from a simple phone call. From, I guess they call them Karens or Kyles. I think that's a cheesy, because in my book, the Karen Kyle is sort of the complainer, like, hey, his party's too loud. But actual people that want to and know how to say the right things on 911 or to the police to sort of turn them against you. Okay, we're coming down here. We're gonna get gas. If there's cops in here, we're gonna get gas, and we're gonna ask them about Sean Dinsey's plight here, of forcing people into mental institutions.
We're getting still working around the block.
Okay, so the cop car here. Yeah, let's fill up.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Are you open? Broken?
Oh, let me get it.
It's okay?
No, I'd rather have a closed one.
Okay. Put it back.
It's open, you want to put it back?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay.
I open my. I will take out the barcode and the broken paper.
Yeah, but it's open.
It's okay. Give me here.
Yeah.
I put back. Okay, $3.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
You'll pass it with it.
Gracias. Sign. Okay, do you need a receipt?
Nah.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, mind if I ask you guys a question?
Sure, what's going on, sir?
Nothing. I was just curious what you thought of Sean Dempsey's policy here, and how do we force, F-O-R-C-E, force people into mental facilities, take them away from their job, kids, home. Kind of like Rex Schillenberger, like force them. Hey, I don't think you're sane. I think you suffer from mental illness. How do we migrate you where we want based on his agendas? Like, hey, I think you're crazy, therefore I can have worldwide groups try to make you look crazy and try to force you where I want. Like Rex Schillenberger, he forged a signature trying to force him into a mental facility because he didn't like him sleeping in the van and they clean up the streets. Is that any opinion about that? Or
None at all.
and I mean, mental illness is a huge problem, right?
Absolutely.
So,
There's things in place to take care of that.
correct, but within civil constitutional rights, like you can't just, hey, I will
Nope.
put a fake label in. All right, so thank you.
Department policy.
Okay, no comment. Department policies. Okay, so and what are those illegal department policies? Okay, so this battery's about to die. That's a no comment there. Okay, so okay, I've never seen those police officers before. One is black, and one is older. I'm just gonna read the plate just for the fuck of it. 1546988. Okay. Okay, so remember Newsom. Okay, Newsom wants to force people in a mental institute. He wants to, hey, a judge can say, and he passed it. Okay, a judge can say, I think you're crazy, therefore, not to do. Okay, and that's bad. Because who's to dictate? The mental illness death threat. Well, the mental illness death threat's I've been told them my entire life. My brother, at 16, me and my friends are going to put you in a mental institution. It was a little more cryptic. It was me and my friends put a teacher in a mental institution, and we're listening to everything you do on the radio, and we're, this is after the blood and thicker and water speech, after I jumped in front of the crowbar. He was swinging at Gregoire in an anger rage that Jennifer Yang broke up with him and started dating my friend Gregoire. As I find out later on, the events were staged. But let's not go down here. Can it happen to you? Yes, definitely. And Mike Huntley in 2001, World of Paranoia, singing World of Paranoia, dropping papers on my desk, how to make people mentally ill. Why did he select those words? Well, this is very complicated, and I'm in the dark on a planetary execution. However, was it the guy befriending me named Paranoid on IRC trying to make me paranoid in 94, 95, or does it go deeper and younger? Yes, it goes deeper and younger. In 94, that was University of Colorado when the internet first came to be, and my brother wanted me to see the internet so bad. So can it happen to you? Well, I mean, let's look based on paperwork. Here is a girl named Yuka. Now, I live in Woodland Oaks in Woodland Hills, California, and surrounding my complex is the Warner Center Met. They like to use literals to try to make me look like a schizophrenic. So they hinted Owens Mouth Street. They own me. You get it? And that is also linked to the No Relaxing for You Nigger campaign. This starts when I'm 8 years old after I kiss a black girl, as I explained so many times. And the black community is told that I'm a white supremacist and need to be hunted. Does that make sense? Well, let's stick to topic here. It doesn't make sense, but let's stick to topic here. Can it happen to you? Well, here we have paperwork. This is a Google blog from a girl named Yuka. Have no clue who she is. Just one of the people jumping on the bandwagon here. How can we exterminate this guy? A worldwide bandwagon for 46 years. He's still not in a cage. How can we get him in a cage? Why is it so important that I need to be in a cage? These are very important questions that are avoided, okay? There's no actual answer. Well, Kevin, you read it out of your father, because he put a shock collar on his dog Rhoda. Or, well, these are all cover-ups, because who would care? Who would care if I'm talking to Daryl Loon in the University of Colorado, a exchange student from Singapore, about my personal life? Who would care? Who would have the resources? Okay, who would care and who would have the resources? Because more importantly than who would care, I think Kevin's bad-mouthing his father, so magically that goes to my father, that goes to the rest of my family, and that goes worldwide, and that goes to the police and psychology community, and boom, Mike Huntley needs to fly in to University of Colorado. Kevin, let's come. You should move back here. We should start a company and blah, 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 and I'm going to finish you off with LAPD. Okay, whatever. But let's jump down. So 2001, world paranoia and a lot of other things. Have a good life now. I've given you enough rope to hang yourself with. We're using the system, LAPD system, against you. I didn't know what he meant back then. This is from a blog around 2013, where I'm sort of dazed and confused after 2001 and maybe 2006, where I'm starting to figure things out, but I'm still just like, I'm seeing it, but I don't understand it, and I'm starting to sort of trace things back, but LAPD and their worldwide hate groups are angry at me for figuring things out with the psychology community. We have weird statements in 2001 from Susan Donner. They think you're schizo. Well, who is they? Is it the LAPD Illuminati sect? Okay, like they. Okay, now remember, there's also no official labels other than maybe family out of their hate or I want to control, right? Okay, so Yuka, a obviously Asian girl, and I explained in some of the other videos her relationship to my artwork, and try to make it pretend that she's Chun-Li and I'm Mike Tyson, because they're really angry about my private artwork in Jim Johnson's class in 1995 or 6, my computer imaging class. How would they have the information? These are very important questions. How would they have this private art class information and things on extremely intricate levels of phone calls and every website I go to and phone calls. Okay, but let's not go down there, because that is the method of making someone look crazy. But more importantly, could this happen to you? Well, Yuka posts a blog knowing that they're following me around, stalking me with gaslighting, gang stalking tactics to try to make me look crazy, and Yuka posts this blog here, okay, and ironically, this is right. They get angry. I'm getting used to this camera. So they're getting angry. You can see here the bruising and the blood and bruising, whatever, on my face. And this is right after Starbucks paid off John Paul Naranjo at Boys and Associates Security to punch me 7 times in the back of the head. The first one in the back of the head, followed up by about 7 other. Luckily, I'm not into fighting or anything, but I maybe some of my wrestling or whatever came back from high school. I don't know. It's irrelevant, but I managed to stop him from trying to either put me in critical condition or kill me or whatever, and that was sort of anger and rage of Starbucks and Starbucks Corporation that I'm not allowed to go to any coffee shop worldwide, and supposedly coffee creates anxiety, so I'm not allowed to drink coffee. However, at the same time, it's also their No Relaxing For You Nigger campaign that seems to be predominantly driven by the black community, not wanting me to sit still and whip me to death, and I explained that. The whole kissing a black girl in the last video, and how that starts, even though it doesn't make any sense, linking to my family. However, and I don't know why this thing's tracking turns off. Okay, so the blog says, and at the same time, they were slicing the top on my Jaguar and keying the Jaguar the same day, I believe. So the physical attacks, then the attacks on the car, then the cover-up blog. Now, ironically, this is where things are strange. Nobody's concerned about what's being done to Kevin here. There's a plenty of people only concerned, how do we cover it up? Okay, there's never, in 51 years, I'm 51, I'll be 52 next month. In 52 years, I've never heard one person concerned about my health, just what they can do or get. Okay, so it says here, I'm just going to read, they try to curb the argument about things like litter or, hey, it's messy around here because Kevin's forced to pass out cards that state you've been lied to. I shouldn't have to. I'm being forced to do it. There's a planetary execution. I want to go out and live my life. LAPD's mad about that. You know too much. We want to make you look like a schizo because we can't be wrong. Okay. I finally gave in picking up one of Kevin's cards and reading the website. I'm just going to skim this. Apparently, the man lives in the condos next door. He appears to have mental illness. Hi, Yuka. Have we met? Do you know one fucking thing about me? I appear, based on you reading a website that says you've been lied to, with thousands of videos that are proof, thousands and thousands of screenshots showing things like Jennifer Pilchick Perlman, Kevin's crazy, we need to make him look like, or Sean Dinsey's plight, how do we force people into mental disorder, or anything else. Now, it's funny because anytime you mention Sean Dinsey's name, they go crazy. You better not fucking talk or we kill you. Okay, so, and that's not a sign of concern. That's a sign of hate or guilt or cover-up. Okay, so Yuka here has no fucking concept of who I am, my background. I bet she doesn't have a college degree. I bet she's an uneducated fucking piece of thug shit. Okay. I have a computer science background. I have a BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts. I went to University of Colorado. I transferred from Southern Oregon State College. I come from a good background at schooling. I have tremendous work ethic and originality in my innovative ideas. This person probably works at a fucking 7-Eleven or maybe even a Starbucks or coffee shop, and all they probably know how to do is fill fucking cups and say, I'm better than you, and you don't come on my turf, or, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so that really is irrelevant to the topic here, but since labels and judgments are thrown on me before ever meeting me, that I'm crazy and I need to be locked away. Okay, so more importantly, which he denies. So he has mental illness, which he denies. And thinks people are out to get him. Well, do I think people are out to get me, or I think there's a conspiracy of people trying to fuck with me? Skylar in 96, Stephanie sent after me from Florida, where my brother is. She likes to skull fuck people. And LAPD knew of those conversations. But they weren't mad at her, they were mad at me. Because I didn't react perfectly. My reactions weren't systematically perfect, like a robot. You are a criminal for saying that. Right? Okay, so, because, now that's also a sign that LAPD and my family's obsession that they need to get what they want, no matter what comes out of my mouth, no matter how perfect I am. More importantly, the arrogance, which he denies in extensive detail, which I deny, is Yuka here, has she been by my side every day of my life for 52 years, witnessing and seeing the things, and going through, whether it's people stealing my money and like weekly or monthly, me having to file bank transactions to get the money back, or the verbal harassment that, let's just say the last 4 years, at every single auto shop whistling and calling me buddy across the entire United States, destroying my Corvette, which still isn't running. Is she with me on these daily incidences where in the beginning, in 2001, something like 10 to 40 people would walk by and whistle at me no matter where I was, no matter where I drove? Okay, is she with me? Is she with me when I go to maybe 15 coffee shops a day to test the waters, and each coffee shop taps on the counter twice as I hand them a credit card? Is she with me on these things? No, she's not with me, right? So who is she to say unequivocally that Kevin Perlman is this or that, and he suffers from this or that or the other thing? But more importantly, this is where things get obvious. He has pictures of people, cars, business, surveillance, videos. Yeah, that's are all posted here. That's really strange, because if groups of people are stalking you, trying to fuck with you to make you look crazy, why would you have proof? Do you just walk into the police station like a babbling idiot in 2001? Gremlins are biting my ankles. I mean, okay, you have to have a valid argument when you're going to approach people to say that is highly unlikely or improbable that something like that could happen, but it is possible. It's not probable, but it's possible. Okay, so it's extremely rare. So is gang stalking, community harassment groups, or government stalking operations to eradicate. Okay, even if someone wants to pay someone to put poison in your food. Okay, I mean, you still have to walk into a police station and prove it and show the proof. Okay, they're not gonna. Most of those guys, all they know how to do is drive around. Most of them, all they know how to do is drive around in a fucking car and go, "Hey, this happened. You know, possible male mental tractor cell phone. Possible. We got a call for this. Let's go check it out." They're most of LAPD or the police in general aren't really prepared for people's psychological warfare tactics and things like that. However, this is the most important part. Please don't waste your time reading this, and just be careful when you're out walking this area. He's crazy. Please don't look at the evidence. He's crazy. Don't look at the evidence. That says everything you need to know. I mean, I might as well just white out the rest. He's a bad guy. He's crazy. Don't look at the proof that he's a good guy. He is. We say he robbed a bank. He has an alibi. He wasn't there. Don't look at the evidence. Don't look at the proof. Why would you say that unless you're as guilty as shit? Okay, but more importantly, let's get to the point here. What transpired there? Okay, we got a girl. She's working with Mike Huntley, 2001, which I'm getting away from because this guy basically not only threatened my life, but has a worldwide campaign to kill me since 5 years old with my father. How do you get away from it? How do you get away from a plan of people that want you dead for no reason? Or in their mind they have a reason, but for no reason. Well, you suffer from mental illness, they think you're schizo. Well, there's blind people teasing you 100,000 to a million times per day. That's not a tease. That's like the scene in the movie Creepshow where all the cockroaches fill the entire room and go into his body, and then his body splits in half. Okay, that's not a tease. Okay, that's like if one person threw an ant on you, funny maybe. Okay, if every person you ever interact with your entire life throws handfuls of ants on you, whether you're walking down the sidewalk or really bad things are going to happen, okay? It's guaranteed, okay? You're gonna be like, stop already, enough's enough, it's not funny anymore, okay, right? And that's the point. And why does this tracking I like this camera, but okay. So the tracking is a little when it turns off. Okay, so these are kind of important questions here. What is it that Yuka here is trying to hide? What is she trying to cover up? But more importantly, a phone call had to be made. First of all, you have to understand the dynamics. Everyone come out, provoke Kevin. He's crazy. He's imagining it. That's the most important. But after that, which starts at 5 years old in different methods, it gets worse and worse and worse and really bad after finding out in 2001. What is the method here? When Yuka's picking up that 911 or calling police station, yeah, we have a violent paranoid schizo here, and now, my opinion is the end all be all. He's a violent paranoid schizo, and you need to help. We need to get together and figure out how to do what? Force Charles Sean Dinsey. How do we force? How do we force people into mental facilities? Okay, how do we force people into mental facilities? Charles Sean Dinsey, with their illegal operations. Well, what they do is they get the citizens to get together and gang up on you, mob you to death, provoke you to death, and all go, he's crazy and we haven't done anything to him. That's how you do it, okay? Called gang stalking, or community harassment groups, or whatever. There's no official term here because it's so rare. It's like the Channel 5 gang stalking clip I have of someone wanted to steal someone's house, and he was a government. His friends were like firemen and things like that, but they were driving by honking at the house all day for year after year, trying to drive him crazy, get rid of him. Same thing. Okay, so LAPD's agenda here of forcing, how do you force people into mental institutions, track their cell phone, violate the privacy, put Trojans on their computer, the Brian Longbotham spy game tactic. I know you surfed this website. I know you had this conversation on the phone. Hint, 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 hint. What the fuck's going on? Why is this guy trying to make me look paranoid? Oh, you suffer from paranoia. We gotta lock you away. We want our 5350. How do we indefinitely put you in a facility? Because why else would you do it? And that takes what? It takes a phone call. So Yuka here, and probably with all her friends, right? Because they follow me around all day for year after year in worldwide groups, provoking and trying to get reactions. That's the point. That every day of my life is thousands and thousands of attempts to provoke me into anger to make me look like violent paranoid schizo, which Mike Huntley states 2001 that I'm filled with anger and rage. And when Dr. Alex Lazard found out that I knew what they were doing and that statement, his eyes dropped to the ground in guilt that shit, Kevin knows too much and Kevin can't fucking talk. Okay, he's a fucking dead man. Okay, and Dr. Natalie Cross states that I better take medication or I'll destroy my life. Now that's a death threat, okay? You do what we fucking tell you, you piece of shit. There's no concern there. There's you do what we tell you or we're going to fucking whip you to death. Or put a bullet in your head like fucking Adolf Hitler. Okay, so do you feel safe? I mean, because if this can happen to someone like me, it can sure shit happen to all of you. And it takes just a phone call. Now you're going to see how LAPD, once they throw the label on, they don't care about anything else. Okay? It doesn't matter if you suffer from depression and some guy says, I don't like your kind, taking a walk, and he runs up and punches you in the back of the head. LAPD will say, oh, well, you suffer from depression, so we're not going to help you. Okay, I learned this the hard way. So I'm basically living proof of these illegal profiling operations. Now, we have several statements, throughout. If I soul search here, Lorena Escobar's weird statements, that's what you're doing in the privacy of your own home. I don't know, am I supposedly cooking up crystal meth? My father's spending 40 years trying to plant fake toy guns and things in my house with LAPD, the drugs running around else, trying to plant trash bags full of marijuana in my house, and everything is a violation of privacy. Okay, and I can go through thousands of scenarios like this where you'd be like, this is insane. And not only that, but the Trojans on my computer since 1994, when my brother wanted me to see. Okay, but more importantly, let's go back to the phone call. Okay, so Yuka here is trying to create the illusion this guy's a violent, paranoid schizo. Now, when does that start? That starts at 5 years old with my psychotic, angry father. Kevin's a violent, paranoid schizo. He needs to be locked away. And there's a point where Okay, so that goes all the way back to 5 years old. My father's anger and rage, making up lies. I'm a violent, paranoid schizo. Unless he's extremely moronic idiot who is an orthopedic surgeon with an MD, but I don't think so. He's very smart. And whether he's doing it in the name of control or whatever. And 2001 comes around. I start to figure things out. Shit, that something's not right. Something's going on. You don't fucking talk. Okay, Mike Huntley? Oh, shit, you're okay. You don't fucking talk. You're a fucking dead man. Okay, but that phone call. So Yuka knows how to say the right things. Okay, he's a violent, paranoid schizo, whatever. He suffers from mental illness. He thinks, this is most important, he thinks he doesn't. Who the fuck is Yuka? I've never met fucking Yuka. How does she know what I think? How does she know if I fucking think I'm an alien? Or how does she know if I am a mechanic for a living? How does she know what my dates are like? How does she know? And if she knows more than just that, it's even freakier because now she's digging for things to use against you, me or you or whoever, right? Okay, so she shouldn't know anything. She shouldn't know anything. She shouldn't care. She shouldn't be picking up the phone saying we have a violent, paranoid schizo that thinks he doesn't suffer from mental illness, and we have the right to eradicate him because we are better than him. Okay, so once again, who is Yuka and why does she think that we are friends? Right? We have no history. I have no clue who she is. And same with all the other neighbors that follow me out every day for 26 years that I've lived here trying to provoke me and get reactions that have worldwide, the ability to network worldwide with worldwide conspiracies no matter where I am. Why do they think they know me? Whether they've collected every infinite detail of my life for 52 years, and they have, but what makes them think that the details of my life are in context with what they think they know? Does that make sense? Well, you went out on a date. In 96, you went out on a date, you decided on the date, so you harass women. Well, maybe I just was tired and yawn. You yawned on the date, and so you harass women. Well, maybe I just was tired. Maybe I sighed because the topic was just ludicrous. Does it mean I harass and hate women? No. There's no context or bearing to that fragmented detail, which has been archived. There's probably thousands and thousands and thousands of these out of context, twisted and contorted things given out to the planet Earth. And then when you try to talk and get down to the bottom of it with the rest of the planet Earth, I don't know you. I don't know you, buddy. I don't know you, buddy. It's funny because when you see these people, I'll go to a coffee shop or I'll go whatever to a counter and pay for something, and the people will sit there at least 15 times in 1 minute. I might go to a gas station Hey, boss, what can I do for you, boss? Oh, that's what you want, boss? Okay, boss. And this and that, boss. And I'll go to another 20 places in a row, and then I'll say boss like that, and then it'll shift to man, and it'll shift to the next thing, and it'll shift to the next thing. And what happens is these floods happen instantly, and the information goes out worldwide instantly. Okay. And then you suffer from mental illness and don't look at the proof. And that's the tell. In poker, okay, why do you stop trying? In poker, that's what you would call the tell, okay? That just like Adolf Hitler here, okay, this is not going to work. Okay, just like Adolf Hitler here, it doesn't matter how much you prove to them that it's not true or that you're a good person. They want you dead no matter what, with every resource. Billions and billions and billions of government dollars for no reason other than someone's hate for a 5-year-old, Dr. Ronald Barry Perlman. And so, back to point. Is it illegal to track a cell phone without a warrant? And there's a reason for this, so your life doesn't end up like mine. There's a reason to keep you safe and protected. That's why we have that thing called the Constitution of the United States of America, which protects your privacies and your freedoms, which ironically most people don't fucking... They know what it is, but they don't comprehend the importance. Does that make sense? Because why? Because it's not them. Okay, because nothing ever bad will happen because they're a good person and they live in the United States. Well, I'm here to tell you that while you might be right, you're gambling, whether you know it or not, because things are getting so bad with our government. Now, if you listen to the police scanner recordings, 60% are mental illness labels, like almost like categorizing cattle. Okay, this person has minor depression. This person suffers from ADHD. This person suffers from, and when they're throwing the labels, they're ignoring anything else. It's like putting on blinders. Okay. It's like, oh, well, you know what? He has schizophrenia, so I don't care what he says. We got to get you checked out. But I didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here minding my own fucking business, and you walked up saying I'm a schizophrenic, and you're saying I did something. I haven't done anything, but you don't care that I haven't done anything, and there's no probable cause. Someone just said it, but you don't care. Because LAPD is believing the Yuccas. Okay, I should word it. It's usually when they call, they're going to word it like schizophrenic hit someone, or schizophrenic broke into a store. Okay, so they're going to word it that way. And guess what? The cop doesn't care if there's habeas corpus, a body of evidence. The cop just wants to figure out if you suffer from mental illness and if he wants to file shit against you. And then you have Sean Dinsey with his CSUN degree, and he's off kilter. He's like some crazy man running around saying we have to eradicate all imperfection, and anything with mental illness needs to be locked in cages. Okay? And that's what's going on at Topanga Division and probably most other police divisions across the United States, because gang stalking actually is a lot. The hierarchy, the dangerous hierarchy of gang stalking, government gang stalking, is happening every day. And people are profiled, children are profiled in high schools and middle schools and elementary schools. Security guards are profiling, hey, you know what? This guy always takes walks at night. I think he suffers from, so therefore we need to force him into mental facilities. Well, isn't that what the United States is based on? The freedoms to take walks whenever you want? or go jogging at night before the sun comes out and gets too hot, or new innovative ways of marketing. Let's just use Elon Musk because he's at the top of the pedestal there. How dare you design your own rockets where the boosters detach and come back to the ground? You sick fuck. You suffer from obsession, and we're going to lock you in a mental institution because people who are smart are crazy. Well, Einstein didn't say that. Because everyone babbles and mimics Einstein. Well, if you do the same thing over and over, then can people actually do something, think for themselves? Okay, so then comes the fear-mongering. Okay, but most importantly here, I want to iterate the dialogues and the thought process of, hey, person with schizophrenia did this. Person with ADHD did that. Bipolar person did this. Person with minor depression, I like that one on Police Scanner, minor depression, did this. By the way, what is minor depression? I don't think there is an actual DSM-5 label there for minor depression as a mental illness. Do you understand what I'm saying there? Minor depression means, hey, you know what? The guy broke up with his girlfriend. He went to the fucking bar. He's pissed off. He chugged some fucking beers. Maybe he puked. Maybe he's babbling. I'm not saying you're so special. You could have been my golden child. Whatever. Okay, that would be minor depression. It's not a disease. It's not a mental illness. Person with minor depression, supposedly, we don't care if you did or didn't do anything. We just, because we have a label, we're now going to throw the book at you. Okay, right? We have the label on you, now we don't care. Now we're going to fucking go aggro and ballistic. Okay, we're going to force, F-O-R-C-E, force you into cages because you suffer from, or we need to find out through LAPD obsession, because LAPD can't live with themselves without knowing the magical answer of why or how. Okay, well, do you really suffer from minor depression? Well, you can't leave jail until we know. If we don't know, we're going to track your cell phone. We're going to track your cell phone. We're going to track your cell phone until we prove to ourselves that it's true. Like Yuka here. Okay? We can't live with ourselves until we can prove that you're a horrible guy because you suffer from obsession. Right? And you're going to say, well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Okay. Okay. So instead of doing anything to help you, they'll throw labels on you and refuse to do anything on any level, which is exactly what is being done to me since I was 5 years old. It does not matter how many times I go in for police reports with photos and videos. Oh, you're a chronic police report taker. But I have video. But we don't care because you suffer from, so we don't care about the proof. You don't care about the proof because I suffer from. Now, they don't word it that way. They word it more stealthily and politically, like, oh, yeah, okay, and we'll dumb down the report, or we'll never investigate anything, or, okay, right? Because you are not as good as them. Okay, you have a label. You dirty fucking Jews are not as good as the rest of the populace, so we're not going to help you. Well, Kevin, they didn't say that. They didn't have to. Okay, that's the point. Because it's all about procedure. Okay, the procedure is I go in. If it fits the criteria of a crime, they have to take a police report, and they have to investigate it. If they don't fucking investigate, if they bury the police reports, if I have 100 different car vandalisms, in several years, or let's call them defacings and vandalisms, and they can't put them together and investigate what the fuck's going on, it means they don't want to investigate. If they don't want to investigate, it's out of hate or something they're trying to cover up. Okay, so, and they're going to let everyone take turns on you until they can try to get those reactions, the setup and frame jobs. How does Sean Dinsey force of Topanga Division, Canoga Park, California, I think it's in, force, FORCE, people into mental facilities or jail? Okay, we have Officer Toro in 2016. If you ever take a picture of a person, I'll exercise the law in my own way for getting into studio photography with Aubrey Fisher. Fisher paid off to have me killed with Roddy Morales, came after me at the same time. Roddy Morales working with LAPD to try to plant a trash bag full of marijuana in my house, my gym manager. Okay. How do we force? Well, would you agree that framing someone to take a bag of, trying to get them to take a bag of marijuana, trash bag full of marijuana, make them look like a drug dealer is a way to force someone into either a mental facility or a jail cell? Do you think that Lead Officer Sean Dinsey is doing that out of concern for mental illness or hate? Okay, hate. Because why does he care if I suffer from mental illness or not? And even if I did, let's say I did, wouldn't it be more prudent or pertinent for him to keep me safe because I don't have it as well as everyone else? Okay? Wouldn't that be the normal thought process from people with empathy that care about humanity? They're not, it's all about me and I want to take and I'm gonna yucca you and I'm gonna make the phone calls and I'm gonna try to steal your house and cars with my HOA when I'm in a cage. And remember, 90% of crime is about money. So does Sean Dinsey here really give a shit with his Lex Luthor CSUN degree about creating a perfect world, or does he want to make money off the deal and get kickbacks, possibly from LACDMH, Los Angeles County Department of Health, and bail bondsmen and lawyers, and they're all on the take, right? I mean, that's a possibility too, because I have a hard time believing. I've met Dinsey. He's several times. He's a pathological liar. He states nothing's been done in my life on any level, multiple times. Even now, in 2023, with these new arrests, them mad at me for buying a Corvette 4 years ago, working with all the auto shops, because I just need to be in a cage. Why? Well, because he doesn't like me. Okay, but how many other people, like Rex Schillenberger, that he forged signatures trying to force him into mental institutions for sleeping in his van, where he was federally sued, have to suffer from Sean Dinsey's political views, and I'm allowed to rape, pillage, kill, kidnap, and steal all your money once you're dead and gone or in a cage, okay? Whatever, okay? And you really think that while I'm watching him fabricate all sorts of things on police reports and investigative reports and things like that, that he's a flat-out pathological liar who's here to protect and serve? Doesn't that defeat the entire purpose of going to the police academy and trying to keep people safe? Being a pathological lying murderer doesn't really fit a psychotic who is capable of torturing, hunting, and killing people, whether it's to steal all their money or to force them into cages. Does he fit the poster child there for, hey, sign up to LAPD or police to keep people safe? Or does he fit the poster child of a fucking Ted Bundy or fucking Hannibal Lecter, okay? Let's be realistic here. Okay, so LAPD is trying to set me up, frame me, push me to my limit, with the masses to try to get reactions to use against me to lock me away. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to lump that Yuka phone call there to the police and her defamation blogs, which I have on my website, with tons of other lies about me. And these lies have been going on since I moved in 26 years ago, so I'm guessing that's around 98. Okay, so instantly I move in. I didn't know what was going on. Kevin's this, Kevin's that, he's crazy. We need to remove him from society. Mike Connolly, World of Paranoia, 2001. We're trying to plant drugs in your house. We can't set the guy up. Mike Huntley even says it in our office, something like, we can't set you up or something. I don't remember the exact sentence structure. And they're mad at me not because they're hunting me to exterminate me, but they're mad at me for finding out. And most importantly, LAPD has gone fucking apeshit that all the information starting at 5 years old from teachers in elementary school and middle school is coming into my brain, and I'm sorting things out. Going, holy shit, this event occurred, that event occurred, this teacher did this, that teacher did that, these students did this. You don't fucking talk or we kill you. You don't talk or you suffer from obsession and we're going to eradicate you. Well, don't I have the fucking right to know who I am and know what my life is? I mean, I already know who I am, but what defined my life that I was sitting there in 2001 while LAPD is paying off all these people to help me have me killed or eradicated with Mike Huntley and my father? Don't I have the right to know what my life is, especially after the cat is out of the bag? You can't put the cat back in the fucking bag at this point. It's just not fucking possible without paying off someone like John Paul Nerano to bash my fucking skull in until I walk sideways the rest of my life and can't remember my name, correct? Isn't that the point here, that every day I leave my house and there's 100,000 rocks, mental rocks bludgeoning my fucking skull in minute by minute now for 22 years, upwards of 100,000 to 1 million per day. So I'm not capable. So I turn into a drooling vegetable that Mike Huntley was hinting about at 16 after they paid off Melanie the stripper to sort of do their lame-ass cheese stick things. Okay, so LAPD is trying to set me up, push me to my limit with the masses to get reactions, to use against me, to lock me away. But more importantly, the mass worldwide stalking groups are being told to set me up and frame me by LAPD. So that's where things are very secular. Okay? Well, you can't call the cops because the cops are paying off the people to do it. But you still go to the cops and you file police reports, but they don't really want to file police reports or do anything. So it's a planetary execution to exterminate. So now you're going to have to dig deeper when you listen to these police scanner recordings. I'm only showing you a couple to make a point. But if you go out and you get a police scanner and listen to everything they do, you're really going to start to understand better the methods when it comes to mental illness. And by the way, one of my so-called crimes here is that I bought a cowboy hat, and so therefore I'm a racist. Okay, try to wrap your brain around that one. These reading glasses also make me racist too. Okay, so they will say anything. And that is with the black community. Okay, that is heavily with the black community after I kissed a black girl when I was 8 years old. And I explained on the last video about my family and the government bringing in Devo to saying whip it good, which has nothing to do with, it's not racial at all. However, you can see how when this information is being twisted out of context for them to fabricate these detailed fictional stories about me to the world in secret, what they're really doing. Okay, so I can tell you LAPD is not doing this for any other reason than them destroying my life and are doing whatever it takes to eradicate me for the information in my brain to cover it all up. That is definitely after 29 years old. How do we force this guy in cages quietly without him knowing? Oopsie, well, your friend planted drugs on you, and so you gotta pay. Sorry, but it's the way it is. You just associated with the wrong people. It's all your fault. Even though he paid off $100 million to try to weasel in your life, and you're like, get the fuck away, I know what you're doing. Get the fuck away, I know what you're doing. Get the fuck away, I know what you're doing. We don't care. The only thing they can really do is have people befriend me because I am a good person. The only thing they have been capable of doing is have people come in my life throwing bunk labels. And the police acting, just like Yuka here, the police acting like the label is set in gold. Well, Yuka says so, it must be true, so we're going to hunt Kevin with billions of dollars. We're doing it for you. We're doing it for you, Kevin. Well, I believe that anytime someone does something, someone is that obsessed. Example, Kevin, I don't want you to be in the car hobby and modify cars or do cool things to cars because I know that that's not what your life should be, so I'm going to sabotage it. Like Dr. Ronald Barry Perlman is putting bullet holes in his 300E Mercedes with LAPD when I was 16 and lying that I stole a $10,000 check from Alexandra, his girlfriend, and things like that. I'm doing it for you because you could do better. You're doing it for me? Didn't see Charles Sean Dinsey, child rapist Charles Sean Dinsey here, who has helped destroy 52 years of my life and launched worldwide campaigns to fucking kill me or eradicate me, is doing it for me? No. Dr. Ronald Barry Perlman is doing it for him, and Charles Sean Dinsey is doing it for himself, for their own personal gain. And they're using psychology as a weapon to do it. Okay? And when you listen to those police scanner calls, person with ADHD, did this, code 2, go out there. Chances are either someone's making the phone call to get what they want from the person, or better yet, why is LAPD putting so much weight, or the police in general worldwide, or US-based, putting so much weight on these labels, which are completely irrelevant unless they're a danger to themselves and others. Technically, it's debatable whether it really should just be a danger to others. Okay? That's a whole different topic, but technically, if you're a danger to yourself, you're not hurting anyone else. But that's debatable. But depression or minor depression, like I said, minor depression isn't a label. Minor depression is a fluctuation. It's like surfing. Okay, some days you have big waves, some days you have small waves. Some days people are happy, some days people are sad. Some days people are walking around like they got the fucking best blowjob in the world. Some days they're walking around like they didn't get no blowjob and they're like, gotta go to fucking office again. Okay? But at what point, where do you draw the line? Person with minor depression, there's no label. Depression, people are depressed all the time. Depression becomes a label if it's a constant, if it doesn't go away ever. Okay, and that's the point. Hey, person with minor depression, supposedly, and wasn't me, and I wasn't there, I don't care, I'm fucking arresting you, because you have a label. Fuck the law, we don't care about the law, we don't care about law and order, we just want to lock away people with labels. Now, remember, there's a diversion program, and that's a way to say you committed a crime, but you know what? You look like you're addicted to drugs, and you know if you clean up your act. But people are making money. Okay, now we have Newsom. Newsom passing his new bills, stating that judges can make psychological decisions. Example, before you could choose. You know what? I don't suffer from that, and this is bullshit. And whatever their reasoning may be, I don't want that label thrown on me. Too bad. We're going to circumvent your decision making. We're going to force you to get help. Or now, is that about money? A lot of it probably is. Okay. Or is it about categorizing like NSA? Okay. So annoying. Okay. So if I could put a little sign on top of your head. Okay, come on. Okay, if I could put a sign. Okay, so imagine every time you leave your house and imagine every time you leave your house and you have a little sign on top of your head and it says suffers from depression, schizo, paranoid, psychotic, bipolar disorder, ADHD. Well, guess what happens when your name comes up after those phone calls? Guess what happens when your name comes up in those police computers? Person with. Now, guess what? The cops don't take you seriously. Okay, because you're a person with. Do you want to be in the person with or the person without category? Right? Because the person without, they're going to be protected by the law to protect and serve. But the person with, they're not protected. Even though their tax-paying dollars pay to be protected. Okay. Is this an important topic? It's beyond important. But guess what? None of you care. Why don't any of you care? Because you're out living the high life. Whether you're a 20-year-old going to bars, going to college, not going to college, whether you're an 80-year-old, whether you're a 60-year-old, these things all apply to you. It's just a phone call away. Okay, reach out and touch someone. Reach out and call LAPD and say, hey, I have a psychotic neighbor and he ate my dog, and boom, you are in the computer system, just like NSA when you pick up your cell phone and say the word kill on your cell phone, you are flagged by NSA. Okay? But more importantly, when we're talking about Kevin Perlman, we're talking about these things starting at 5 years old, these labels thrown on me at 5 years old, and being monitored, tracked, and watched.
What is it? What is that?
By my friends, the school, my jailer friends, my school teachers, elementary school, high school, middle school, and even college professors, that we are watching you and we are analyzing and we're picking every minute detail of your life apart and we're twisting it out of context and we are archiving each and everything. And everything's out of context, and then it's being delivered to the world because this guy's crazy or this or that. And guess what? Doesn't the Constitution of the United States of America state that you are a free man until? Example, maybe I'm a quiet and shy kid, has nothing to do with me being a serial killer, despite what child rapist PD is saying with my family. And So they've invested billions and billions of dollars to execute a shy kid? Does that seem beyond any level of psychotic and insane? Billions, probably at this point, billions per year. Okay, does that seem... And you call someone attacks you, so you call the cops, well, we're not going to help you because you have these labels on you that, by the way, they aren't official labels. They're labels based on obsessed sickos trying to dig for dirt to use against you. They're not real labels. Okay, it's like your mother. Well, you disobeyed me, so you're a violent paranoid schizo. Example, when I say fuck you to my mother at 14, guess what happens? She probably calls the cops and says, my son is a violent paranoid schizo who hit Josh Burnham in the head with a golf club, right? That's probably where that whole thing came from. Do you have proof? No, I don't have proof. I'm just piecing together the freaky events with golf clubs and movies and Corey Bixby or whatever. Because that's the life they created for me. Based on what? Labels. Based on a parent's ability to call the cops and make up a lie. And if you're a parent to a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old, the police are going to believe it much more because they are authority figures over the child. But did you ever think that the parent might be a psychotic fucking murderer and will say and do, just like Sean Dinsey, whatever they need to do to get what they want? Okay, now, when you're listening, and later on I'll do the longer, in a different video clip, I'll do the longer dialogues. When you're listening to Topanga Division's dialogues there, he really emphasizes, and I think this is important, behavioral changes. They are stalking based on behavioral changes. By the way, all these things I'm talking about are stalking. Okay, so it starts with the label. We have the label. Now we're not going to help you. Okay, we're not. The Sean Dinsey neighborhood stalking watch groups that follow you around. How can we make this guy look crazy and force him into a mental institution? By the way, in order to force, doesn't no mean no. You have to make the guy look crazy. Well, if you have to make the guy look crazy to force him into a mental institution, he's not crazy. The psychotic murderer is hunting you are. Okay, so first comes the label, like Yuka. This label's been floating around. These labels have been changing since I was 5. The label, we're not going to help you because you suffer from, hey, some guy just attacked me. We don't care. We're not going to help you because you suffer from, if anything, just like the past events, they always reverse the charges. Bailey Bernard follows me home, assault battering me, stalking me, yelling at me, hits the keys out of my hand while I'm trying to get in the gate to my townhouse. Kevin, you assault battered Bailey Bernard. That's what Dinsey and his lackeys put on the paper. They do this over and over. Okay, so things happen every day, and Child Rapist PD reverses it, and then they throw me into the system. Mike Huntley, we're using the system against you. Now, I'm supposed to believe that I was sitting in my company, Signity Services at 29, making money. Internet host provider, the beginning of the internet days, making money, doing, coming out of college, and visual effects for Hollywood, where they were all stalking me, with Universal Studios and Brian Longbottom. I'm out making money. I'm showing my capitalistic, how do you state it? I'm taking part in capitalism, providing for myself and the economy and everyone else, and LAPD is mad about that because they're more concerned that I need to be crazy and forced into a mental institution. And that's when I'm finding out that I'm sitting in my company, and they've destroyed all that. Based on their obsession to get what they want, correct? I'm going to put Kevin Perlman in a mental facility or jail cell if it kills him or if it creates worldwide chaos and destruction. I believe that is called obsession, real obsession, dangerous obsession. So Dincy and the people that are paying him, my family, can get what they want. Is that for me? Or is it for them? Well, they've destroyed my life. They've now destroyed 52 years of my life. And if they let me go live my life, I'd be house, cars, probably family and kids. I can't tell you family and kids, but I never was too much of a kid person. But you never know. I might have met the right girl and things might have went that direction. And that's not my fault. It's their fault. And they still can't leave it alone. Because they know that there's information here that is way more important than just Kevin Perlman. They know that serious civil crimes have been committed that will change everything if the right people get a hold of the information and use it to strengthen our country and strengthen what the Constitution stands for. But let me get so based on behavioral changes, to make a division on the dialogue based on behavioral changes. Well, you know what? You shave your beard. Track the cell phone. Find dirt. Force them into a mental facility. You shave your beard. You're going to the gym for four days a week, and you took 2 weeks off to let your muscles heal. Behavioral change. Mike Huntley threatens your life. We're all paranoid, and you're noticing a plan of people hunting you to kill you. You're not out being social. You're no longer talking to Mike Huntley. Behavior change. Track the cell phone. We got to force you into a mental institution. You broke up with your girlfriend. You're depressed. You don't feel like going out on other dates because you're not over your girlfriend yet. Behavior change. Possible male mental. Track the cell phone. We got to figure out how to get dirt and lock you away. By the way, why is it illegal to track people's cell phones or put Trojans on people's computer or LAPD to violate people's privacy like that? Why is it illegal? Why do you need a search warrant? Because the ramifications are so damaging to begin with that privacy is important, and judges know that they're going to do it probably on a very narrow scale if they have to, but it's probably last resort. Does that make sense? Because anything you can say will be held against you in a court of law. Okay? And if you've ever talked to a police officer with probable cause, it really doesn't matter what you say to them. Their beady eyes are like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. Okay? And someone with that obsessed personality, whether they're doing their job or not, are generally fairly dangerous to you. Okay? So, example, when that Ariana girl, that black girl, friended me off MySpace saying she wants me to do a photo shoot with her. Everyone knows the black girl on the chessboard. And she wanted to go to P.F. Chang's after, and she was asking me interrogating questions about Professor Jim Johnson's class and Mike Tyson fighting Chun-Li project that she should have no knowledge of or other things. And I wasn't fully picking up on it at the time. As I find out, she was an extremely dangerous person because the only reason she wanted to do a photo shoot with me was to try to get dirt to use against me with worldwide groups to fucking eradicate me or incarcerate me for life or force me into facilities, mental facilities, out of their hate and rage for me. Why? Kevin, why is it not concern? Why is it hate and rage? Because if you're concerned, you'd go live your own fucking life. Because the minute you befriend someone trying to prove that they're a bad person, you're already proved it yourself. Correct? When Susan Stieber came down from Nebraska to meet me off internet-related chat in the mid-'90s to Colorado, and she showed up with her friend trying to prove me and another guy were a stalker. Of course, she pretended it wasn't about me. She already had it in for me, correct? You understand what I'm saying? She drove however many miles from Nebraska to University of Colorado, to Boulder, Colorado, to prove that I'm a stalker. Do you think that there's anything in her thought process that I would ever be a good person to her? If she's capable of doing that? No matter how many, if I whine her and dine her and prove that I bend over backwards for her and everyone else, do you think that her opinion, like Charles Sean Dinsey, who has been clearly paid off for 10/42 years or whatever, no matter how much I prove that I'm a good person, they're going to keep, how do we force, F-O-R-C-E, into a mental institution? Doesn't know me know? Does the LAPD have the right to kidnap people from their homes and put them in cages because they just feel they want to, like Officer Toro's death threats in Encino Starbucks 2016? If you ever take a picture of a person, I will exercise the law in my own way, and I can guarantee you that was about Aubrey Fisher and studio photography, just as Professor Nick was working on me with Mike Wexler, Jason's friend Mike Wexler, in '96 for taking a film photography class at the University of Colorado. Okay, so, but it's about mental illness that they have to create. Okay, so behavioral changes. I mean, what does behavioral changes have to do with law and order? Well, I think you might have a mood swing, so you could go commit a crime. Okay, but that has nothing to do with the crime in progress. Right? Well, look at all the hair on Kevin's arm. I think you might go commit a crime. Kevin's Jewish. I think he might go commit a crime because us dirty Jews are all about money, right? Okay? We're all little Lex Luthors. Okay? Because we're all about money and we're driven. Well, I mean, that might be an opinion of a white supremacist, sick, child raping cop. But I can tell you one thing, you don't see this Jew going after people, hurting people, trying to steal people's money, trying to lock them in cages or anything else. Okay? I've been as nice as can be to everyone in my life. I've proven myself 100 billion times over, and yet they don't care. Correct? Just like walking up to Adolf Hitler and saying, Adolf, we're really good fucking people. Oh yeah? Boom! Okay? They don't fucking care. But what is it that they're trying to cover up? And why have they been hunting me since 5 years old? And you can bet your ass my father threw a bullshit label. I'm a violent paranoid schizo at 5 years old. And this seemed to get really bad after our dog Oppo, my father's show dog, bit Jason, my brother, Jason Perlman, in the face. And that's when the entire family started stalking me. Okay, now, well, we think he's schizo. We think he might be conforming to the dog. We think he might be conforming to the couch. I don't fucking know. But normally I would say nobody's that fucking stupid. But here we are. I'm about to turn 52. I got a planet of child raping morons hunting me to kill me since 5 years old, especially people in the psychology community, Child Rapist PD, the entire police force worldwide, NSA level operations, and the psychology community. And they will not take no or you're wrong for an answer, especially the ones I've never met, like Yuka. And they're worldwide armies. So now this is obviously a cover-up because they don't want me saying anything about Starbucks and my neighbors working with them to spend the last 20 years vandalizing all my cars and keying my cars and slicing up all my cars and defacing my cars on and off for 20 years. And that seems to be where this starts, I think. the car vandalisms, and also we don't want your kind at public places anywhere worldwide. And Yuka's statements that avoid the proof. Avoid. That's the most important. Okay, so with LAPD, or Child Rapist PD, appears to have mental illness, which he denies. Hey Yuka, I think you killed 10 people. Oh, you have proof of your innocence? I don't care. Oh, you're trying to deny it? Oh, I just know. I got a vibe. I got a vibe that Yuka killed 10 people, so everyone hunter and killer. I got a vibe. And if you can't kill her, work with Dincy here to force her into a jail cell or mental institution. Because I got a vibe. And guess what? She has proof that she's being stalked and hunted for no reason, with no actual habeas corpus of the crime. But she's crazy, so don't believe her. Please don't waste your time reading this, and just be careful when you're walking around the area. And if you see her, whistle at her or call her buddy or boss 50 times with all the other neighbors until you can get her swinging at you, because she's a violent, paranoid schizo. Because that is the way the law works in 2023, and this is the way, quote-unquote, Kevin, you don't know how the world works, from Dr. Ronald, child rapist, Dr. Ronald Barry Perlman. Bullshit. And that's the way the world works. So if some angry girl says you're crazy, worldwide groups with child rapist PD or police want you to kill you. With billions of dollars, minute by minute, all day and night, 24/7, where you walk around getting proof of it all day and night, and you need to be cured of your disease, of finding out and saying something about it. You just need to die quietly, says Yuka, an Asian who thinks she's Chun-Li out of my artwork in 96 in Professor Jim Johnson's class, in a private class that has nothing to do with her. And our kind is not allowed to have a counter-argument because the entire judicial system is bypassed and it's set up in a way to have kangaroo courts where they try to get reactions, correct, and say, look what you did, you're a bad guy. And we don't care about the actual argument. We don't care that there's an entire planet trying to mob someone to death for 52 years. We don't care about the argument because possible male mental tracked the cell phone. Or wait, it's illegal to track a cell phone. What if the target knows that? He might say something about it. And those good police officers who are, quote unquote, like Officer Toro, if you ever take a picture of a person, I'm allowed to exercise the law in my own way and mentally bludgeon your fucking skull and kill you or lock you in cages for no reason. They might be held accountable, correct? So is Yuka's statement, avoid the proof and don't listen to a word he says, and he thinks he's not crazy? I mean, what kind of person would have an opinion about themselves? Shouldn't the weight of the opinion about me be okay. Child Rapist PD is saying that Yuka's opinion of me, a guy she's never met, doesn't know one thing about, first person, based on hearsay, worldwide defamation, slander, libel, slander, hearsay. She doesn't know one personal thing about me from me, just like anyone else. She doesn't know who I am from interpersonal communication. She's fabricated her delusions. So her opinion must be gold, and mine must not matter. Okay, now if I go to a therapist, and I have, and they said, Kevin, how do you see yourself? And I tell them, they jump to the defamation and slander. Okay, now Yuka's probably, I don't know who this fucking person is. I'm guessing that she was probably In 2001, she was probably like either being born or 5 years old. Wait, no, that was in 2013. She was probably like 10 years old when I found out there was a plan of people hunting me to try to make me look crazy with Child Rapist PD to eradicate me, possible man mental, track their cell phone, that type of shit. Profiling, government profiling. And her opinion is gold. Some girl I've never met and doesn't know one thing about me, but she's a dirt-digging Jew killer. But my opinion doesn't matter about who I am, according to the psychology community. Okay, there's a reason for that. And that reason is because they have something to hide, okay? Because they're committing the ultimate crimes that are so far out of the norm. Okay, what has been done to my life has never really happened on a planetary scale in the history of humanity, therefore meaning that what my family with Child Rapist PD has done to my life has launched worldwide executions to kill a 5-year-old or make him look crazy to force him into cages. But we actually have no reason. There's no actual reason. Well, he suffers from. Okay? Well, what if I did? What if it was true? I still haven't done anything. There's no crime. There's just hate. H-A-T, hate. How do we force people into mental facilities? Now, you can listen to the dialogues of the police, and when they think that, hey, we're better than you, okay, and throwing these labels to get what they want, and they don't care about law and order. Okay, and I'm here to tell you right now that most of the mind rapers or their people in the psychology community that I've met are fucking way the fuck out there. They're like on cloud nine, like they're like some amount of fucking like Gidget on acid. Okay, most of them have no fucking clue. I've met the angry ones. I've met the controlling ones. I've met the stupid ones. They all were just completely fucking nuts. There might be some good ones out there. And their opinions, no matter how much they defy physics and reality, seem to stick with the judicial system as if those opinions have importance, okay? And I mean, you want to do an experiment? Go to a therapist and do psychoanalysis. You'll just probably be laughing your ass off, okay? And the textbook fucking banter they say is just like, well, you can't control others, so you should accept your surroundings, and all you can do is work on yourself. Yeah, but every day I go out of my house and people are chasing me with shotguns. Learn to accept it. Okay, right? I mean, all right. And that is going to the police. The police are using it as leverage. Leverage. How do we get what we want? And that's why when you listen to the police scanners, you're going to hear possible male mental, track their cell phone, highly illegal, beyond any level of illegal. But we're doing it because we can stop crime. No, you're doing it because you're on an ego fucking trip to get what you want, and you're going to stop crime no matter what it takes. And if locking away good people gets you to some of the bad people, then you don't fucking care. Because you're going to fill your fucking quota and look like a good guy, like Dincy and his CSUN degree, right? And in the meantime, he's going to sit in the back office and try to figure out, with worldwide groups, his so-called neighborhood watch groups, how to force, F-O-R-C-E, good people or anyone into mental facilities or jail cells that he just doesn't like or doesn't feel comfy with. Okay, right? Doesn't feel comfy. Well, people with hair on their arm have too much testosterone, therefore they need to be in cages. Or people that don't have hair up here are dangerous, so they need to exist in cages. Or people who are Jewish are different from the rest of the populace, so they need to be in cages. Or Jews are all criminals, so they need to be in cages. Okay? Period. It's not about law and order. It's about personal judgment. Judgment. Personal judgment. And if people want to go to parties and go, oh, I don't like him, his nose is too big, and I don't like his voice, and I'm not going to talk to him, fine, so be it. That's every day of our life. But with people with authority and power running around saying he suffers from minor depression, we have the right to punch him in the back of the head every day of his life and slit his throat. Okay, that has nothing to do with law and order. That means that the cops are your worst enemy and nightmare because they're running around just like Adolf Hitler trying to figure out how to put bullet holes in your head because you're the inferior race. Okay? And like I said before, what if someone does suffer from mental illness? Shouldn't the police file that into the category of, hey, these guys are bullying the crazy guy? It's the crazy guy that needs help. And when the crazy guy goes in and he files a police report, the way that people are making fun of the crazy guy, right? But I'm a bully because I found out what was being pinned on me growing up my entire life, right? Okay, so that's it. So listen to the dialogues and listen to the ego trips with the psychological labeling, and that's all it is. Okay? And my point here is that good people are suffering. Bad things are happening to good people, like myself. Well, Kevin, you're a horrible person because we were told, or because 40 years ago you smiled at a girl and we think it was an evil smile, or, well, I can't help stupidity. If you're a moronic idiot, then you have the constitutional rights to be a moronic idiot, but I don't want you near me. Okay, so, but the point where these yuccas have been following me around for 52 years, calling the cops over and over in repetition. I guess they call them the Kyles and the Karens. I don't think that applies. I think Kyle and Karen's for stupid little things. I think if people are calling, like Jason Ryan Fishman, Kevin tried to hit me twice with his car. That's not a harmless complaint, okay? That can get you a lot of jail time out of someone's hate, okay? I don't like you, so I'm going to call the cops and say he did this, and he could destroy your entire life. And by the way, it is a crime. It is a crime, a misdemeanor, to file false police reports about other people, okay? So if one is knowingly filing police reports, especially with such charges as assault with a deadly weapon, the prior videos show that Jason Ryan Fishman threatened my life. If I see you again, you're dead. And that's on video. So when I walk into the police station, I usually have proof that they're mad about, because according to Mike Wexler and Officer Toro, it's illegal to buy a camera and take a picture. Weird. There's so much money in cameras and cell phone cameras and studio cameras and in the photography community, and I guess I don't know. Like my father says, like child rapist Dr. Ronald Barrett Perlman says, I just don't know how the world works. Yet everyone else in the world's doing it, and nobody's having a problem. They're not being forced into jail cells or mental institution, ripped away from their homes, without options, for no reason. Hey, you suffer from this, you do what I fucking tell you or we kill you. Even if the person does suffer from the labels. It's unfucking acceptable. Now, by the way, I want to jump to one last topic here. Normally, when you're seeing the police labeling, their 80% is for the homeless, like people sleeping on the streets. How did Kevin Perlman, especially driving an XKR Jaguar with his company Signity Services, or maybe that was after when I was working at my father's office, Golden State Sports Medical, where he was trying to mentally bludgeon my skull in with the entire office and a Planet and Child Rapist PD. Kevin Perlman is not in the category of homeless. Kevin Perlman grew up in Hidden Hills, California, with rich people, went to the University of Colorado. Not even Rex Schillenberger sleeping in a van, but I need to be forced in jail or mental institutions. You do the math. Anyone that says that's about mental illness is fucking nuts. And then the next, even if it were, you'd say, what is your method of curing mental illness? Creating mental illness? It can't be cured. Okay, right? You would never try to create mental illness to cure anything. That's the stupidest thing. It's like you suffer the bleeding disorder, the rare bleeding disorder. That's why we have worldwide groups. Anytime someone sees you, they slice on you with a knife because you suffer from the rare bleeding disorder. And your response is going to be, maybe you shouldn't be slicing on me with a knife so I can go out and live my life. However, I don't think it would play out that well, because if someone's slicing on you with a knife, you probably bash their fucking skull in self-defense, okay? So, if the police couldn't get there in time, correct? Okay, so, and the police would say, you assault and battered someone. We don't care because you suffer from. But what about what's on video? This guy saying I'm crazy and slicing on me with a knife. We don't care. Or like the girl at LAPD. Like the girl at LAPD paid off to try to slice me and my car up, and they wouldn't write an actual real police report, right? So, and that's in the name of mental illness. I thought LAPD wanted me healthy. Well, they want you healthy as long as nobody knows the 100,000 lies to the entire planet Earth, and me living the life that I want to live, correct? Whether it's billion-dollar websites, whether it's not billion-dollar websites, whether it's building the Artist Connection or Tweet Studio or doing my studio photography or doing non-studio photography, landscapes or doing graphics with 3D or visual effects. That's my choice. These aren't crimes. There's no crime. But Child Rapist Disney says I'm a criminal and I need to be locked into mental facilities, and it's a vibe. It's just a vibe he has. And so he has billions and billions of government dollars with mental illness cover-up labels, and a bunch of children are walking around with little CB radios going, possible male mental, track their cell phone, hunt them and kill them. Okay, so you get the idea. It is illegal. These are illegal police operations. It is illegal to track people's cell phones. It is illegal to violate people's computer privacy. It is illegal to have people befriend people and try to collect and disseminate information to the police all day and night worldwide. All these things are beyond illegal, which Charles Sean Dinsey would call his neighborhood watch groups, which does not fit the definition of neighborhood watch groups, the neighborhood kill groups, using psychological warfare to hunt, eradicate, execute, and kill. And none of this has anything to do with law and order or, like I said, providing a good life for someone. It's we want to force you into mental facilities or cages out of hate or you know too much, and that is it. And the original topic, is it destroying lives? Hell yes. Okay, once that label is put on you, the police no longer want to help you. They look at you differently, and like that scanner, 911, chronic 911 caller, maybe he has reasons. Maybe if you investigated, you would find out there's legit reasons. But I can tell you I've been to the police station 100 million times with proof of everything, and not once were they capable, no matter how much I spelled it out for them on direct events with proof, they were not capable of doing one thing ever. Okay. So I guess that's it for this to shed some light on the naive people here that think that all police officers are good people, or there aren't situations. By the way, gang stalking is a hierarchy through security companies to the police and citizens. So neighborhood watch groups. So once they start labeling and profiling, you could end up in really bad situations that people can either die, starve in the streets, die, end up in really bad places, all because the police don't want to follow proper procedure based on their hate or obsession or ignorance in labeling. Okay, and these labels are equivalent to you suffer from mental illness and need to be contained, or you are Jewish and need to be contained, because they're really one and the same. Okay? Unless the mental illness is so bad that some guy's walking down the street swinging a pickaxe at people, now you got something. But once again, you're really in the crime category of these people's lives are in danger and there's a crime in progress, right? So how much weight are you going to put on the label, the mental illness label? Because really, if you stick to fact, the crime is the crime, okay? You don't need a person with ADHD is swinging a pickaxe at someone's head. What the fuck does it matter if he has ADHD? The crime is swinging the pickaxe at the head. Well, but we can put him in the diversion program and people are making money.